Well, this is October the 9th, and George, very, very saddened to see your latest broadcast from your little video station, your channel, and have to say to you that, look, you're doing a wonderful job, you're making a difference, you are helping because you're connecting with people like myself who, to a lesser or greater extent, exercise a little influence in the communities that we're in. And George, there you are on the other side of the world, and you know, you're a brother, George. I feel very saddened by what you're telling us, and I have to say to you that in New Zealand, where we are, we have similar situations taking place, and there's going to be a lot of ignominy for people who were used to having wealth and have suddenly had it taken off them, George. And what I was thinking was, I've got a little piece here from Ecclesiastes, and it says in Ecclesiastes 7, and this is verse 13, consider what God has done. Who can straighten that which is made crooked? When times are good, be happy. But when times are bad, consider God has made the one as well as the other. And it just rains on the just as well as the unjust. But I have to say, having said that, the late Francis Schaeffer, Dr. Schaeffer, used to say that the non-compassionate use of accumulated wealth and racism would be the two areas that the church would be judged for. And I have to say I agree with him. But you see, you have a democracy in America and one of sorts here in New Zealand. But what is the underpinning of that democracy? I mean, democracy is just a way of doing things, and mostly it's a lot of talk. But if it doesn't adhere to some principles, if it doesn't have an underpinning, some kind of moral fibre, some kind of ethical backbone to it. And you know, if you go to Leviticus, it talks about how God says to Israel, remember the orphan, the widow, the poor, the stranger, and they are to be our priorities. So in communities where wealth is accumulated and there is no compassion, they will be judged. And unfortunately, a way that the judgment works is that it does indeed rain on the just and the unjust. But I believe, George, that you have a strong faith and you have a good collection of people around you, a church and a brotherhood, a sisterhood, and I think that you hold to your faith, and eventually you'll work your way through this. I agree, there's going to be an awful lot of ugly scenes, and we're just seeing the beginning of them. This is the beginning of travail, which was spoken about in the book of Revelations. Sure, I actually believe in Revelations, in as much as I think that human nature is, man is born to sorrow, the Bible says, surely as the sparks fly upward. And if we don't take the Sermon on the Mount seriously, what are we going to take seriously? A man with no beliefs is nothing. So this is an age where people get tossed back and forth, and they don't know how to hold on to any form of principles. They don't have absolutes. George, you have those, and you have compassion. And I think, you know, if you hold fast, George, you will see that things will be better for you. And I agree, we come into this world with nothing and we leave with nothing, and how we treat one another while we're here is actually the most important thing that we can do.